There's a moment every builder knows. When the sawdust settles, the last nail is driven, and silence takes over. You step back, breathe, and look at what you've created. It is not just wood and stone anymore. It is a reflection of every ounce of patience, frustration, pride, and persistence you poured into it. That moment is the quiet high we chase, the emotional payoff of building something that lasts. But let's be real. Getting there isn't easy. The emotional arc of building is brutal. It's a test of endurance far more than skill. It's the long, grinding road between I have a vision and it's finally done. It starts with excitement, the dream phase. You sketch, you imagine, you run your hands across the raw material and picture what it could become. You romanticize the process. Every builder does. You tell yourself, this time it'll go smooth. But that illusion lasts about a day. Then comes frustration. You make your first cuts, realize your measurements were off, and the alignment doesn't hold. You sand something too much, over-tighten a joint, split a board. Suddenly, your perfect plan meets reality, and reality doesn't care about your confidence. This is the point where 90% of people quit, but real builders, they stay. They curse, they recalibrate, and they keep going. Because frustration isn't failure. It's friction, and friction is how you sharpen skill. After that comes doubt, the ugly middle. You're halfway through, nothing looks right, and every flaw screams at you louder than your progress. You question why you started, whether you're good enough, whether it's even worth it. This stage breaks people. It ends where you discover whether you re-in love with the idea of building or with the discipline of it. Because when emotion fades, discipline has to take over. And then slowly something shifts. You begin to see shape, form, a glimpse of what you imagine. That's renewal. It's not the end, but it's the spark that reignites your drive. You fix one joint cleaner than before. You adjust angles without second guessing. You start trusting your instincts again. This is the turning point, when the builder in you reclaims control from the critic in your head. By the time you're nearing completion, something else sets in: attachment. You've wrestled with this project for weeks or months. It's not just an object anymore. It's a record of your evolution. Every dent, every patch, every uneven surface holds a story. You see the process in the product. That's when you realize the value of what you built isn't just in how it looks, but in how it changed you while you were building it. And then comes the silence. The completion phase. No noise, no stress, no plans. Just stillness. You touch the final surface and feel something sacred, permanence. You've taken chaos and turned it into order. You've left your fingerprint on time. That's the part nobody talks about, the emotional gravity of permanence. We live in a disposable world where everything's built to be replaced. But when you create something meant to outlive you, a home, a table, a bridge, a legacy, it humbles you. You realize you're not just building for utility. You're building for continuity. You're saying, I was here, I made this, and it will stand after I'm gone. That's the closest thing to immortality a human can touch. But here's the truth, that emotional payoff isn't constant. Some days you'll feel powerful, others defeated. Sometimes you'll stare at your work and hate every inch of it. And sometimes, years later, you'll return to it and feel pride so deep it quiets every self-doubt you've ever had. Because the structure didn't just survive, you did. Every builder carries invisible scars, splinters, burns, cuts, but those aren't wounds, they're proofs of devotion. You bled into something that didn't exist before you touched it. You wrestled chaos into form. You turned an idea into a monument. That's why building something that lasts isn't about cement or steel. It's about emotional durability. You not just constructing a thing, you rebuilding your capacity to stay when it's hard, to believe when it's failing, and to finish when no one's watching. When you build something lasting, you also build the kind of person capable of lasting through pressure, delay, fatigue, and fear. And that transformation, that quiet alchemy of effort into permanence, is the real reward. Because long after you're gone, that wall, that beam, that carving, it will still stand. And someone will touch it, admire it, use it, without ever knowing the sweat, doubt, and soul it took to exist. But that's the beauty of legacy. It doesn't need applause to matter. It just needs to endure.